What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sport to Jake. Hope you're all doing well. A lot of NBA trades are being finalized. Trade deadline is tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And I think you guys are probably seeing this, probably might be a little bit closer to 6 or even 7 p.m. than 5 p.m. like my usual live time. But let's get through all these trades. If anything breaks, I have my phone open if anything breaks while I'm doing the show. But we've got a lot going on. The Memphis Grizzlies and Utah Jazz make a blockbuster trade. The Grizzlies send Jaren Jackson Jr. for Defensive Player of the Year, along with John Concher, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. to the Utah Jazz. The Jazz send Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang. They send the most favorable between themselves, Cleveland and Minnesota, 2027 first round pick, the Lakers first in 2027, and the Suns first in 2031 to the Grizzlies. So a lot to unpack here. I like this for Utah overall. I understand why people think this might be a bit of an overpay, but Utah, they have so many picks from the Gobert and Donovan Mitchell trades and some other trades. They have a lot of young talent. They've been really bad since they traded Gobert and Mitchell a few seasons ago. They bring in a guy in Jaren Jackson Jr., who is a Defensive Player of the Year a couple of seasons ago. He's had a good year this year. He's averaging 19 points a game this year. He's shooting 35% from three. That's about his career average, shooting 47% from the field. He's been first team all defense twice. He was second team all defense last season. I mentioned Defensive Player of the Year a couple of seasons ago. Has been top 7 Defensive Player of the Year two other times. Jaren Jackson's a big pickup for Utah. They got a lot of size there between him and Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler, who they do plan to re-sign the offseason. Apparently, he's going to be a restricted free agent, young center. They also have Ace Bailey, who's a top 5 pick this year. And they pick up, a guy like Jock Landale, who's actually had a career year this year. For Memphis, averaging 11.6 rebounds, shooting 51% from the field, and 38% from three at almost 3 attempts a game. So he's actually really had a good season this year. So that's somebody else that Utah picks up. So they got a lot of really good size there. John Concher is kind of a roster filler. Vince Williams isn't a bad player. He's averaging 8 points a game this year for Memphis. He's not much of a shooter. He's only a 32% three-point shooter for his career. But he averaged 10 points a game 2 years ago. He's averaging 8 points a game this year in 21 minutes a game. Mainly as a bench player for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's still 25 years of age. He's not a bad player for Utah to add. As for Memphis, I mean, you need to tear this thing apart. You missed your window. We thought you had something with John Morant in this crew. It didn't end up happening. So you trade Jaren Jackson Jr., not a good luck that before that huge extension even kicks in, you trade him. But, you bring in Walter Clayton Jr., who has not been super productive this year, second round pick this year by Utah, but liked him a lot coming out of Florida personally. I think he could be a very good player. You get to evaluate him. Taylor Hendricks is another kid who's a high draft pick by Utah a couple of years ago. Hasn't shown you a whole lot, but is still really young, has potential. You get to evaluate him. You had Kyle Anderson, who's just an average bench player, good defensive to have on your bench. And then Georges Niang, he's injured right now. He's not playing this season, doesn't look like, but last year did have a very good year between Cleveland and Atlanta, averaged 12 points a game last year. He is a nearly 40% three-point shooter for his career in 9 years in the league. He's a guy maybe next year, if he's on your squad, he'll be 32 years old. Could be a solid three-point shooter to have on your bench. Maybe he's a guy that you flip next year if he's on your team. And they get 3 first-round picks. You have 2 firsts this year. You're going to have 3 firsts in 2027. You have your own, which will probably be very high. You're going to have the Magic first in 27 from the Desmond Bane trade. And you're going to have a first. It's the most favorable. So, Utah next year will probably be better. But if they're not, that's something. Cleveland is a team that's getting older. Minnesota's a regular team. So now you have 3 firsts in 27, plus the Lakers first. The Suns, you get extra first from the Suns. I mean, 7 first-round picks between Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. That is very good returns. Plus, you pick up Walter Clayton. Plus, you pick up Taylor Hendricks. Those are two legit young players that could be part of your future. So I like this more so for Utah. I think they're at least, kind of buying for next year, which is something that probably needs to happen. As for Memphis, this isn't a bad way to rebuild. And John Morant probably next might be in the summertime because of all of his concerns, but they're trying to do this the right way in terms of a rebuild, bringing in, trading, their current players for, huge amounts of draft picks and the young players, in between here and there and saving themselves a lot of money in the process as well. Well, the Bulls were busy. They send they get Jaden Ivey from the Detroit Pistons as well as Mike Conley from the Timberwolves. Detroit in that trade gets Kevin Huerter. They also get Dario Saric, and they get a protected pick swap this year from the Timberwolves. I like this a lot for the Bulls. Jaden Ivey is a good player. He was the 5th overall pick in the draft prior to 2023. Had a really good rookie year in 2023. He averaged 16 points a game. He shot 34% from beyond the arc, was 6th in the Rookie of the Year voting. Last year, Quietly was having a really good year, averaging 17 points a game, kind of a bounce-back year, shooting over 40% from 3 before he got injured. This year has lost a lot of playing time, was averaging almost 30 minutes a game through his first 3 seasons. He's only averaged just under 17 minutes a game. This Detroit's a very deep squad. But he's averaging 8 points a game, shooting 37% from 3. He's just 23 years of age, going to be 24 in like 2 weeks or so. Thinking a week and a half, he turns 24. He's a good young player for the Bulls to bring in. That's a really good pickup for them. A guy in Huerter is an older player, not going to be on the team in a year or two. That's a good move for them. Sark was always a guy who was going to be flipped. And so I like that from Chicago. As for Detroit, I understand it. Huerter, I think, fits them better than Jaden Ivey. He's averaging almost 11 points a game this year. Only shooting 31% from 3 this year, but for his career, he's a 37% three-point shooter. I expect him to shoot the ball better from beyond the arc upon joining the Detroit Pistons. He'll have a more concrete role with them. With the Detroit Pistons, he'll be actually playing for something. Pistons right now are first in the Eastern Conference. Bulls right now are the last playing team. Probably going to end up missing the plans, or they are selling off. And the Hornets right behind them are streaking right now, and they need moves. More on them in a couple minutes here. And for the Timberwolves, they're trying to go after Giannis. They move Conley's expiring salary, which is close to $11 million. And Detroit also picks up a potential pick swap. Celtics make a bit of a smaller trade, but a valuable one. They pick up Nikola Vucevic, veteran big man from the the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls remain busy. They send Anthony Simons, and they swap second-round picks in this trade. I like this, I think, for both sides. I like this a lot for the Celtics. They really needed another big. They've not really replaced Kristaps Porzingis. Vucevic is older. He's now 35 years of age, but averaging almost 17 points a game this year, as well as 9 rebounds. He's shooting 50% from the field, 37% from 3. He's not much of a defender, not what he once was. As a guy, a few years ago was an all-star, averaging like 23 and 10, 11 every season, but can still give you roughly 20 and 10 every night or so. Is still an excellent shooter for a guy his size, and a really good fit in Boston. Simons hasn't played a whole lot for the Celtics. Has come off the bench this year for them. He's a talented player. He's also nothing on the defensive end, and he's hurt a lot. He's been healthy this year, but in the past, he's only played 70 games twice in his career, and that's exactly 70. He's never played more than 70 games in his career. This year was averaging 14 points a game, but shooting 39% from 3. He averaged 22 points a game 2 years ago, averaged 19 last year. So he's a very good player. He is still 26 years old, pending for agent, and if you're Chicago, you now can see what he has the rest of the year. If you like what you see, you can re-sign him to a long-term deal in the offseason. If not, you can either let him walk or maybe work out a Simon trade kind of like they did with DeMar DeRozan. So I think I like this for both sides, especially for the Boston Celtics. Celtics who, even without Jason Tatum, everything that they're dealing with, still tied for second in the very weak Eastern Conference. The Cavs and the Clippers make a shocking trade. James Harden has been traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They sent Darius Garland and a second rounder to the Los Angeles Clippers. This trade doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. For Cleveland, I don't get it at all. Look, Harden is a very talented offensive player, so even at 36, averaging 25 points and 8 assists this year, shooting 40% from the field, 34 from three, 91% from the line. But he is 36 years of age, that doesn't defend. And also, we know what he does in the playoffs. Cavs are a team that can't get able to hump in the postseason. Harden's a terrible postseason performer. Don't think that makes a lot of sense for them their part. As for the Clippers, look, Garland is a lot younger than James Harden. He is only 26. So I get it. He's a decade younger than Harden, actually. And he's a good player. He's averaging 18 points this year, almost 7 assists. He is shooting 36% from three, 45% from the field. But he's not a very good defender, a little bit injury prone. He also has not shown up in the postseason for the Cleveland Cavaliers the last couple of years. He's on a rough contract. That's not a great contract. So I think Cleveland getting out of his deal actually isn't a bad thing. But it's kind of a desperate move for them. I would have probably kept Darius Garland because of his youth. I think he's a little bit more. I know Harden is a better scorer even at 36. He's probably an even better playmaker. Though Harden, he's going to be, probably off your team within a couple of seasons. Probably 2, 3 years max. Garland, the Clippers could have him for 10 years. Hypothetically, age-wise, so. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for either side, but I like it better for the Clippers because Garland's only 26 years old. That team is ancient. They need to get younger. And Def Tax and James Harden requesting a trade, and I'm sure he'll, put up, 6 for 23 in the playoffs every game, and Cavs will be lucky if they even win a playoff series this year. The Dallas Mavericks make a just wild trade with the Washington Wizards. They send Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum to the Wizards for Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, the Thunder's first this year, the Warriors protected first in 2030, and 3 second-round picks. This is just, this is the most random trade deadline I've ever seen. Just none of these deals were talked about at all. Anthony Davis, with the Yellow family, he's healthy, he's a great player, averages like 23 and 12, excellent defender, personal defense guy, but he's never hurt. He's played 29 games since Dallas acquired him at the deadline last year before Luka Doncic, of course, and that ends from this trade. And he's injured right now, and probably won't play a single game for the Wizards this year. I'd be shocked. They're not even playing Trae Young, who's healthy. Jaden Hardy isn't a bad player. He's only 23 years old. This year, averaging 6 points a game, shooting 37% from three. He's a nearly 38% three-point shooter for his career. I like Washington picking him up. Didn't play for him to evaluate. What deal with D-Law. He gets passed around a lot, but he's not a bad player. He's averaging 10 points a game this year, but only averaging 19 minutes a game. At his peak, he was a really pure scorer. Back in 2020, he averaged 23 points a game between Golden State and Minnesota. He had some good years in Brooklyn. He's 29 years old. He came into the league really young. This is year 11 for him. He's had multiple stints in both LA and Brooklyn. Had a short stint in Golden State. Was with Minnesota for a while. Obviously, he's been with Dallas his last year, and now he heads now to Washington. So sorry to throw the Wizards, but he's not a bad player. He's a decent player. He's a decent guard to have on your team. He can score. Won't play like a defense, but he's a solid scorer. He goes the other way. And Dante Exum, who's not a bad backup guard, but he's injured this year and I'm not going to play. Going to Dallas is Chris Middleton, once an elite level player, 3-time All-Star NBA champion, once an excellent 3-and-D piece who was a major part of the Bucks championship team a few years ago. But he's no longer the same player. He's now 34 years of age, averaging 10 points a game here, shooting only 30% from three, but still a decent wing defender. I can see him being bought out by Dallas, to be honest. You also got A.J. Johnson, who was a first-round pick last year, a pretty high pick, but I think it was that high, but it was a first-rounder. Hasn't produced at all, but is still very young, still only 21 years of age. Malachi Branham is another young player who hasn't produced a whole lot. His rookie year in San Antonio in 2023 averaged 10 points a game. Since then, has kind of declined every year. But, hasn't gotten a lot of playing time his last 2 years in Washington. He's still 22 years old. He'll be 23 in a couple of months. He's a young player that Dallas can evaluate. Marvin Bagley is considered one of the more larger draft busts in the league in recent memory. He was the second overall pick. Infant was taking a pick before Luka Doncic in 2019. I know the Sacramento Kings definitely regret that. He's bounced around the league a lot. This year in Washington, he was averaging 10 points a game this year, only 5 rebounds. Was shooting 42% from three, but only like on 0.5 attempts a game. So now he's developed into a serviceable backup center. But that's about it. A far cry from what he was supposed to be coming out of college, but not an old player by any means. He is still 26 years old. Going to be 27 in like a month or so. So he also goes to be Dallas Maverick along with the draft picks. So just a lot to unpack here. Washington, I mean, obviously you pick up Trae Young, though you flip CJ McCollum at the end and you send Kispert out for Trae Young. We'll see what that looks like next year. This team fully healthy next year could actually be pretty damn good. Problem is Anthony Davis is a major health risk. Him and Anthony Starr will play a whole lot of defense. Obviously, no AD can score, but he's got to be on the court, of course. He's an older player. So, but I do like them picking up Jaden Hardy. Exum maybe could help you next year. As for Dallas, I don't hate them taking a look at Johnson and Branham. You get some picks, but the Thunder first won't be very valuable this year. Golden State in 2030, who knows what that'll look like. That could be a decent pick. And also the second round picks. Dallas right move to trade Anthony Davis, but just what an embarrassment that this Luka trade is. This is what Dallas Mavericks turned Luka Doncic into. Max Christie, Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, the Thunder's first this year, Lakers first in 2029, protected Warriors first in 2030, and 3 second-round picks. Christie's turned into a decent role player. That's about it. Middleton won't be on the team in a year. Johnson and Branham are projects. Bagley's a serviceable backup center / draft bust. 3 first-round picks. I don't know how valuable any of them really are, and 3 second-round picks. Just a disastrous trade. That was for the Dallas Mavericks. The reason Nico Harris to have a job. And Dallas, I expect them to probably bottom out the rest of the year. In Washington, they're probably going to tank the rest of the year, try and get a top 5 pick. But next year could look somewhat promising for the Washington Wizards. The Sixers made a bit of a confusing trade. They send Jared McCain to the Thunder for a first-round pick this year in 3 seconds. I think it's a lot for the Thunder. I like McCain coming out of college a lot. He is still 21 years old. He'll be 22 in like 2 weeks. Last year was bowling the heck out. Was averaging 15 points a game, shooting 30% from 3 before he just 23 games in the season, has season-ending surgery. Still finished 7th in rookie of the year, with only playing in 23 games. He's also a lot of playing time this year, not even averaging 17 minutes a game off the bench, but averaging 6 points a game, 37% from 3. He's a really good young player. Not sure most will play for the Thunder or how deep they are, but he's another really good young player with Thunder add. So Philly, I don't get it. You're playing pretty well. You have a chance to make the playoffs. Embiid is getting older. Paul George is much older. Not the same player. He's currently suspended. I get you have Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, but you want to have as many young pieces as you can, and you trade, a 21-year-old guard was showing in these first 2 seasons that he can be very good, was a lottery pick, and you trade him for a not-so-viable first-round pick and 3 seconds. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Philadelphia for me, but good trade for the Oklahoma City Thunder. We got 2 more here. Unless anything else comes through. The Hornets make a move. They get Kobe White from the Chicago Bulls, as well as Mike Conley's expiring salary. They send Colin Sexton, Ousmane Dieng in 3 seconds to Chicago. This is a really good trade for the Charlotte Hornets. Kobe White's a very good player. He's averaging 18 points a game. He's shooting 34% from 3. 25 years old, pending free agent. Very good player. I like that pickup for them. Conley is not the same player anymore. Much, much older. Been in the league forever. He was part of those grit and grind Grizzlies teams forever. Has been in Minnesota Timberwolves for a while. Still a good defender. We'll see if they keep him. Sexton isn't a bad player. He's a solid point guard. Kind of the most average point guard in the league, but still in his prime. He goes to the Bulls. The Bulls can see what they have in him. They got a lot of young guards over there at the deadline. I think they are going to reroute Ousmane Dieng somewhere, from what I'm hearing. They get 3 seconds. This is about what they're going to get for Kobe White. Very good player, but he's not going to be on. He's a rental. He's a rental, and they are able to flip Conley. So, but good deal for the Hornets. And the Raptors trade in a three-team trade with the Clippers and Nets. They get Chris Paul, or the corpse of him at 40 years of age from the Raptors. Apparently, they told him not to report to the team, so he may still get flipped in the next 24 hours, just under or so. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Nets get Ochai Agbaji in a 32-second. I like that from the Nets. It's a decent young player. You can evaluate him. That's all you're doing at this point with that just abortion of a basketball team. Second round pick 6 years now means nothing. Peppers just wanted to get him off the team. I don't know why they just decide, yeah, we're just not playing you the rest of the year on his retirement tour. For Toronto, maybe he gets flipped in a trade for a center. That's what they are trying to do. I don't think we have any more deals that went through. No, we did not. So that is it for today. Tomorrow, I should be doing this tomorrow, and do a little bit of a recap, because the deadline is at 3 o'clock tomorrow. That's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.